Yes, Super Eagles of Nigeria today na today. We don't come MaraKech. They say we don't come MaraKech. From MaraKech, wherever we dey go, we don't know, but we need to be serious in MaraKech. Whatever happens in Marrakech stays in Marrakech. That being said, that today the Desert Warriors of Algeria will be up against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. One of the familiar, fixtures that we've ever witnessed in the history of African football, and of course in the history of African Cup of Nations. The last time these two teams met in African Cup of Nations, it was, courtesy of late goal from the Admirals for that free kick in 2019 African Cup of Nations. That way, Nigeria went sent packing in the semi-finals. And let me say something, Super Eagles, you people have two reasons to beat Algeria today. Two good reasons. One is the fact that you didn't qualify for the World Cup and you have promised the fans that you are going to do the most to land this Afcon. Now, a familiar foe stands in your way. A familiar foe that has haunted you in the two previous Afcon, to say the least. Afcon that we were close to winning it in the semi-final. But then the Amares, this same the Amares that we play today, was the court hero to ensure that Nigeria hopes of landing their fourth Afcon title died down. Now, back into this game. Nigeria have been playing Algeria since the 1980 edition of the Afcon. That 1980, of course, if you are familiar with Nigerian football, you know that is where Nigeria won its maiden Afcon tournament in Lagos, Nigeria. That 1980, Nigeria hosted the African Cup of Nations and went ahead to win it in National Stadium, Surulere, beating Algeria 3-0. And then over time, Nigeria encountered Algeria 10 years later in the 1990 edition of the Afcon, where Algeria beat Nigeria 1-0 in the finals, thereby equaling the margin. And since that time, the two teams have been playing both in friendly, both in World Cup qualifiers, head-to-head. Algeria have a greater margin, winning 8 times to Nigeria 7 times. And the Afcon, Nigeria have a good record against the Desert Warriors of Algeria, winning 4 times and to Algeria's 3. This is interesting, very much interesting. Now, Eric Chell, you have an assignment to do, right? Let nothing change in your formation. Those that you have as your starting lineup, talking about Frank Onyeka, talking about Iwobi, talking about Ademola Lookman, Wilfred Ndidi at the back line, Osayi Samuel, Bruno Emechi. I don't know about Zaidu Sanusi's situation, but Bruno Emechi is fine. Calvin Bassey and Semi Ajayi, and then the forward Osimhen and Lookman with Akko Adams. But if you look at this game between Algeria versus Nigeria, you see that there's a balance. The attack is balanced, the midfield is balanced, the defense is balanced. But then where this game might be won is in goalkeeping position. Algeria have really done well for themselves in Zinedine Zidane's son, Lucas Zidane, being the number one in goal. That brother has really done well for the Desert Warriors. Keeping about 3 clean sheets in this tournament. About 3 clean sheets, which is very, very impressive compared to Nwabali's 1 clean sheet. And we all know one problem with Nwabali is that he doesn't take things too serious. He doesn't show us commitment, and if he's not careful with his handling, with his control of his territory, it might likely cost us. But then again, I'm predicting this game, Nigeria to win, Algeria with 2-1. It is time for us to pay them back in their own coin, in their own neighborhood, because they share a common boundary with Morocco. Let us do it, Super Eagles. Come on, you Super Eagles. Let's go. Yeah.